Coming up on Hoge and Jahns, we got a good one for you. Patrick Mannelly, longest tenured Bear of all time, joins the show. We always love having him on, and we got some early thoughts on the 49ers. They sure looked good last night on Monday Night Football. It's a good one before Christmas. Hoge Jahns starts right now. What's up? Welcome in. Hoge and Jahns back with you. 2 sleeps until Christmas.
2 sleeps.
2 sleeps. How many sleeps until Sunday, though?
5? Is my math correct?
Good job. I think. Yeah, it's Tuesday.
I don't know.
Welcome in. We have a good one for you today. Patrick Mannelly is going to join us here on the show. Got a lot of questions for him. And we get early thoughts on the 49ers, I think, because we all
had a lot of thoughts about the 49ers watching them take it to the Colts last night.
Yeah, that was, I sat down, I locked in, I watched that game from start to finish, and they were impressive on offense. So we'll get into that a little bit. Numbers to think about, as always, from our producer, Katie, on Wednesday. You know what I didn't check in on that we're going to do live here? Did we ever get the bonus voicemails?
That's no.
That was actually great. I don't even care because that reaction was so good. If you're listening to the podcast, Katie just popped up on the screen with her hand over her face like the
past 2 days just flew by.
Like the shake my head emoji on your phone is basically what that was. Okay. You know what? It's been busy. Everyone's grinding. It's perfectly okay. The voicemails on Sunday? Yeah, that's what
Sunday.
We did the show. We're phenomenal. So that's all right. The 49ers, though. Actually, here's what I want to do real quick because I guess we gotta have a little competition against my other show here. Because CHGO has been just adding YouTube subscribers like crazy since Saturday night's game. And we're gonna go over 100,000 subscribers over there on CHGO, which is great. And we've only done one show since the game, so it's not really fair. But we're trying to get to 30,000 too. And I think we need like 1,600 more subscribers to get there by the end of the year. And with what's going on with the Bears right now, that should be definitely possible because CHGO has added like 2,500 in the last 48 hours. So if you're here for the first time or you're listening to the podcast, especially the people that have been listening to the podcast forever that just maybe aren't on YouTube a lot, just do us a favor. Open up the YouTube app on your phone. Hit subscribe on the channel.
Tell your kids to do it. You know, they're on YouTube.
Everybody's on YouTube. You know what? That just made me think. James, if you're watching this right now, if you are not subscribed, you're grounded.
Taking something away from you at Christmas.
Yeah. All right. So 49ers, interesting team. I mentioned this, Johnsy, yesterday on CHGO Bears. For whatever weird reason, of all the NFC contenders, I feel like I had watched the 49ers the least up until this point in the season. I don't know if it's just because the way the schedule fell with the Bears or whatever. But I really could only remember sitting down, watching them live against the Rams when Mac Jones beat the Rams earlier this season. And I vividly remember sitting outside on my deck, which means that was a long time ago because it feels like we're already 2 months into winter here in Chicago. So if I was outside, that must have been a long time ago. And, you know, they lost Fred Warner earlier in the season, and the defense really took a hit to the point that I think at one point in my power rankings, I had them listed under the teams that were fatally flawed because it just looked like defensively they just didn't have enough firepower. And I'll be honest with you, I printed out the depth chart last night. I had it in front of me while I was watching that game, and I'm still watching that defense going, who the hell are these guys? There are not a lot of names that jump out to you that you're going to know. But that being said, offensively, Kyle Shanahan has done such a good job with this unit, and they looked so in sync last night. running what they do with Kyle Juszczyk and George Kittle and Brock Purdy is just doing a phenomenal job of running that offense. They didn't have Ricky Pearsall last night. Didn't seem to matter. Even their wide receivers aren't like terribly impressive. I think that was Jamarcus Robinson's first touchdown since he joined the 49ers. Obviously, Juwan Jennings is pretty good, but like just look like a well-oiled machine. And I got to say, I am taking them way more seriously Tuesday, December 23rd than I was when I woke up on Monday, December 22nd.
I felt like in the past when we discussed the 49ers, like when we picked the games with the 49ers, it was a lot of games with Mac Jones in them. Yeah. And now Brock Purdy is back. The 49ers have navigated their injury situation as well as any team in the league. What Kyle Shanahan is doing is more than impressive. There's a reason why he's considered one of the front runners for Coach of the Year, just because of all the injuries the 49ers have dealt with. Like they're missing Nick Bosa as well. Like he's out for the year too, right? Like best linebacker, best pass rusher, faces the franchise.
And their first round pick. Yeah. That they drafted right after Colson Loveland. Yeah. He's out too. So it's been quite impressive.
So in order for the Bears to have a chance at the top seed, we know this is now a goal for Ben Johnson. He stated that very clearly as he went through the steps of his of what his goals are, really. Step 1, 11 wins. Step 2, win the NFC North. Step 3, get the top seed. So in order for the Bears to get the top seed, they have to win out, and they need the Seahawks to lose one of the final 2 games.
Ideally, you beat the 49ers and the 49ers go beat the Seahawks.
Or the Panthers upset the Seahawks at home next week.
I mean, I guess they did do that to the Rams when the Rams had to go across the country.
Could happen. Let me play devil's advocate for a second. Do you think some of the success last night from the 49ers is a product of playing a reeling Colts team?
A little bit, and they were already starting to crack before Daniel Jones got hurt. I don't think that's necessarily a phenomenal defense, but like Lou Anarumo was doing a pretty good job earlier in the year. It seemed like I think they're just a team that's kind of heading the wrong direction.
As impressive as Phillip Rivers looked last night with his 10 kids in the stands.
Right. Yeah, it was just fun to listen to, honestly. Like, I loved how ESPN just was like, all right, Philip, you call the game when you're on offense. And
that's crazy. These guys have been here for like 10 days. He's running the show. He's yelling at his right tackle for jumping off sides. Like, I love it. Don't change.
The entertainment factor was really, really good. But, we'll obviously break down the 49ers in depth on Friday. We'll be back on the 26th after Christmas to do our preview episode. But this is definitely a tough game. It's a big game, and it's an awesome opportunity. So it's kind of cool how the schedule has laid out. This is Sunday Night Football. It's going to be another massive audience. Bears in the spotlight. And based on how this season has gone, I imagine there'll be more heart attacks around 10:15 Sunday night.
Sounds about right.
Right. So enjoy your Christmas. It might be your last one. The way this season's going, come on. All right, let's bring in our guy, Patrick Mannelly, who is here to join us. We always love talking to Pat. Got a lot of questions for you. This has been a fun season, huh, Pat? Like we've all been doing pregame and postgame shows for a while now for games that haven't mattered at all in December, and this is the complete opposite. So it's been a lot of fun.
Oh, it's been a blast. It makes the job a lot easier. It makes it, like this week, you were talking about Christmas week, how much more fun this is even after that Packers win. But even just the whole year has just been a lot more fun. You wake up a little more positive, a little more energy, a little more excited for Sunday.
It's so crazy, Pat, that I caught myself quoting Larry Mayer on this podcast because of the obvious craziness and the 2001 connection, just because the Packers come back. And they haven't had a game like that since 2001 when Mike Brown did some Mike Brown things. You were on that team. Well, number one, like how crazy was that win the other night against the Packers? And then what do you make of the 2001 comparisons?
Yeah, it's right up there, right? You know, you try to think about the best Bears-Packers games and all that kind of stuff. I go back to '99 when Brian Robinson blocked the field goal, which, you know, you didn't think that was going to happen. But then you take it, you put it up against all the ones in the past history, and everybody talks about 2001. I don't know if this surpasses that because that's back-to-back weeks, but it's right up there because it's the Bears-Packers rivalry. But here's the thing, guys. 2001, who was the offensive coordinator for the Chicago Bears?
John Shoop.
John Shoop was.
Who was Ben Johnson's mentor?
John Shoop.
There you go. He's got the belief. That's where it comes from. I don't know, but I just thought about it. It was crazy. I was thinking about 2001, and I was like, man, those were unbelievable wins. And then John Shoop, who was you can say good or bad or whatever. I thought he was a pretty good offensive coordinator, but he always had us prepared for those moments. And you think about what's the running back's name? I'm drawing a blank. The one that caught the ball in the end zone.
James Allen.
James Allen. I was going to say Josh Allen. James Allen. He talked about those moments, and he set up that play that we're going to run 4 guys to 4 different corners. James Allen, you're going to release out of the backfield. You're going to get there, and there's potential for you to tip the ball and get the touchdown, and it happens. So I'm guessing Ben Johnson kind of does the same thing, talks guys through different scenarios, and they happen. And that's where that belief comes from. You know, you practice them, and they work out. DJ Moore talked about that play, and Caleb Williams talked about the game-winning touchdown pass that they talked about in the meeting room, and they go out there and practice it once, and they run it in the game, and it works out. So just very interesting that Ben Johnson and John Shoop have that tie together and have some of the greatest wins the Bears have ever had under their belt.
You know, it's along those lines in terms of, you know, setting things up like that. We had Cole Kmet on CHGO yesterday, and he said that this is the first time he's had a play caller be the person that actually installs the run game. You know, a lot of times it might be like the offensive line coach, or you might have a run game coordinator, you know, with that title on your staff. And in this case, it's also the head coach who's installing the run game. I'm just curious, like your thoughts on that and why that might not be so common, and also why maybe it should be, because to me it makes sense that I mean, especially if you're going to have an offense that's built this much on the run, you would hope that the play caller was, you know, the one installing it.
I just wonder how many play callers really know that much about the run game. I think it's interesting that Ben Johnson knows everything about the offense. You know, they know about it, but I don't think they know the details like he does. So it would always be like Wednesday morning offensive line meetings, and you do like the big install of this is what's going to happen in the grand scheme of things, and you go into position groups, and the O-line coach would set up, you know, here's the run game, and we get more into details. But it is interesting that Ben Johnson does that. And the thing I love too, guys, is hearing DJ Moore talk about Ben Johnson and the way he's kind of scared of him. You know what I mean? So it's kind of what he's set up in Hallis Hall of how they have to be on the details. But to have your head coach, who is your offensive coordinator, install everything, again, that scares you a little bit more, because you know he knows exactly all the details about the footwork, all that kind of stuff, O-line-wise, tight end-wise, everybody, receiver-wise in the run game. But I just don't know if many head coaches, offensive coordinators, you know, / offensive coordinators can install all that. I just don't know if they know as much as he does.
From the outside looking in, what do you make of his vibe, his energy, you know, good, better, best, and whatnot? But like, you've been in locker rooms for forever. You've heard coaches speak in different ways, wins and losses. Like, what do you make of what Ben Johnson brings to the table in that regard?
I think it's interesting to me, guys, that guys have bought in so quickly, because I think it takes a coach a while for you to buy into. Lovie Smith, it took a little while. I remember the defense, and everybody had to run to the ball when he first came there for training camp. Everybody had to run to the ball. Reuben Brown was like, what the hell? I'm an O-lineman. Why am I running to the ball? Well, that was what he was just trying to instill. And then it just took a little time to buy in. And when we did, we figured out that's just kind of the way he was, and it worked out. But Ben Johnson, it seems like day one, everybody's bought in. And it seems like he just has that it factor. And then go back to what DJ said, just the way they talk about him. Just, you know, it's like they not revere him, but they respect him. And they know that he's going to put them in the best position to succeed. And that's another reason why I think they're winning all these close games. It's a lot to do with him and the belief in him, but it's just, you know, guys just believe in that man, and he's got that leadership quality.
Johns, do I have permission to go into special teams yet?
Oh, well,
let's go.
On my notes, like there's a lot of special teams things to bring up from the other day.
Well, it's a great week to have. Yeah, it's a great week to have you on, because we I mean, quite frankly, they do not win that game without what Cairo Santos did throughout. Cole said yesterday, too, that was the windiest game he's played in, which kind of surprised me because it was just a few weeks ago they were in Philly, and that wind looked brutal. But I guess he was specifically talking about the second half with the wind. Take us through what you were seeing with those field goals, especially that first one where it looked to me like from the back end zone angle, he was aiming at the left upright, and that ball barely snuck in the right.
Yeah, so, I go back to Robbie Gould and learned a lot from him, and we would go down to Soldier Field when we first signed him, so he would get used to the stadium and used to the winds. And the hard part about Soldier Field is you have a north end zone and a south end zone that are not the same. So the winds are different when they come blowing in over the top of the stadium. So they swirl a little bit differently. It's not like if you go to Green Bay on a windy day, which is, just it comes in and blows in one direction and goes the other way. Well, this one goes northeast, southeast, south, all different directions. So you have to get used to the winds. And what I'm getting at is Robbie and Robbie and Brad Maynard would go down there all the time. And you hear Cairo's doing that as well. So you kind of get comfortable with the wind and you understand what's going to happen. But the most important thing is you trust it. You trust the wind. So a lot of visiting kickers come in and they feel it, but they're like, there's no way I can aim at the left upright and trust it to get back to the right. Or am I going to aim just outside the right upright and is it going to come back to the left? To me, that's what it is. And that's why I think Cairo is so valuable right now, especially in games like that, bad weather games, because he trusts it. That he can line up and say, all right, I'm going to aim at the left upright, and I know it's going to cut back to the right. And then the 51-yarder, he drew that one in. So he aims to the right upright and pulls it back in. And another thing Robbie would say is that he would never aim outside of the goalpost. He just never felt that the wind was that strong to kind of start out with a miss. You know what I mean? You don't want to start outside of the left or start outside of the right because it should cut back either inside to the right or draw back inside of the left. And to me, Cairo just has the confidence that he lines up. He's like, all right, I'm going to aim at the left upright. I know that the wind's going to move it enough back to the middle. And he did. Other kickers come in and they don't. You watch them in pregame and you're like, haha, good luck today. You have no chance. And that's why I believe in Cairo and why I think he does so well late in the season because he's been there and kicked so much.
Wasn't there a game against the Saints, 15, 16 years ago where there was a field goal was attempted but was completely blown off?
49ers.
The screen was
49ers. It was the first time we wore the orange jerseys. The only time I had a bad snap on a PAT. I remember that game vividly. It's the one where Robbie put it in the stands. Yes, and Nathan Basher returned a kickoff or a field goal for a touchdown. Yeah.
That's right.
Was that the one where Urlacher was the lead blocker?
Yes. And he caught up to him twice.
Yeah. That was insane.
Yes. It was insane.
So at the end of the game, that 2-minute operation. Now Ben Johnson yesterday over Zoom talking to us he wanted the blame for how things went down. Said he didn't feel like they were prepared enough for how it played out. What did you make of how things went down in the final 2 minutes when Cairo Santos was rushing out there for that?
I appreciate him saying that because I actually just went back and rewatched it again before I came on to you guys because I wanted to know what the exact timing was. And DJ got tackled with 38 seconds to go, 2:38 before the 2-minute warning. So I think on the sideline they're thinking that's plenty of time to get this off before the 2-minute warning. But here's the thing is you can't assume because you're moving the kicking ball in. He talked about that. You're moving the kicking ball in and all that. To me, that was not an issue. I'll get to that in a minute. But when you get to that situation, that should be a mayday, hurry field goal, hurricane. Adam, I don't know what you guys call it at Carmel, but just one of those hurry up field goal situations that should be talked about on the sideline before. That should be communicated from Ben Johnson to Hightower to Scott Daly to everybody to the wings and tackles that are going in that are not in on the game and that are not in on the offensive line. That you say, hey, guys, we got to go ahead and get set up. We have to beat the 2-minute warning no matter what. So I think that'll be discussed in the future. But so he gets tackled with he gets up with about 35 seconds. Guys are going in and out. So what should have happened? Like I said, Scott Daly should have been running out there. The wings that are on the field goal team should have run out there and been yelling at the offensive line, get set, get set, get set. And when you do that, what you do is you're not really speeding up the process for Cairo. You're speeding up the process for everybody to get set. You're also going to make the officials feel like they need to hurry up, that they need to get the ball in quicker. But then you allow Cairo to kind of slow down because he sees everybody set. Then he can get in his normal routine, but you're already sped up the process to get the kick started. Well, the ball was set there, and Scott was I would tell him, and Scott's a friend of mine, I would be like, hey, you got to hurry up. This is what you got to do. He was kind of dilly-dallying around. He was kind of looking back and waiting. He needs to go ahead and get set because the referee was over the ball. The ball was set in plenty of time, I think with 18 seconds left. So if he's already set and everybody in the front set, the referee would have walked away. But the referee kind of waited because Scott took a little while and everybody took a little while to get their hand down. So that's what I saw what happened. That's the coaching points that I think that will happen in the special teams meetings and the coaches meetings that, hey, when this situation ever happens, this is how we'll handle it. And what's also interesting, guys, special teams coaches, they go back and watch all these situations from other teams. Other teams will be watching what the Bears do, and I guarantee you this will not happen that often anymore, that, coaches will preach this and teach this and take care of the situation in the future.
Well, what's interesting is this has been a thing that's gone around the league this year a few times with the kickoff right before the 2-minute warning. So it's not just getting the kickoff for the 2-minute warning. You need to leave enough time. So the field goal before the 2-minute warning, you need to leave enough time that your kickoff, your ensuing kickoff, which ended up being the onside kick, but that plays over before the 2-minute warning.
Right.
Because otherwise you're wasting the 2-minute warning. Remember that happened in week 1 when the Bears played the Vikings. I guess that's why it's a little disappointing that it was still an issue this late in the season, because the Bears did have this, not the same situation, but similar situation with the kickoff, the 2-minute warning earlier in the year. But this is why I always say, Johnsy, and I'm sure, Pat, you would agree, like, of all your coaches on the sideline that need to be in lockstep with clock management with the head coach throughout the game, it's the special teams coordinator. But it starts with the head coach. Like, the head coach has to give the directive, and then Hightower's got to have everybody coached up. And it just seemed like somewhere in the breakdown there was an assumption that, like you said, Pat, there's 2:38. We got plenty of time. We'll be fine.
You assume it. But that's one where the special teams coach also should click into the head coach and be like, hey, man, we need to hurry this up. You have to think about this. So when I mean click in, that they can get on the same frequency with the head coach, and like the special teams coach can listen to the offensive coordinator of like what he's thinking, what the next play call is, so he knows what to get called or prepared for the next situation. So that will be discussed. But I think the biggest thing you said there was the assumption that you had plenty of time, but now they know, and I guarantee you that won't happen again with Ben Johnson and his staff.
So I'm starting to work on a story. I'm sorry to report this, Adam. A story on Josh Blackwell. He thinks I like the
Dookie.
Yeah,
well, this is good, but John's kind of has a John's jinx thing going on here. Last week was the big.
You guys, I'm a Hoge Jahns listener.
Yeah, the Drew Dalman story last week. I mean, they're all phenomenal stories. It's great, but then all of a sudden the ball's being. I mean, we haven't seen a bad snap from Drew Dalman since week 2 or something, and then
Anyway, Pat, on special teams, what do you think's like more difficult? Like what Josh Blackwell is doing this year is, I mean, insane. Like, what's harder, blocking a field goal, recovering an onside kick, or downing a punt like inside the 1 where you're like diving and preventing
downing the punt?
Yeah,
because think about it. He's already beat. I don't know if it was a double team or whatever. He's getting blocked running down the field. And then what you're taught in those situations, when you see either the fair catch or the guy just kind of, juking you out or whatever, find the ball. So think about you're running full speed. You've got to turn around, find the ball that's coming down from the apex, and figure out where it's going to land. And he did that. And then he gets, knows where he is, where the end zone line is, and then he knows not to touch the ball. So to me, that's amazing. That's a heck of a skill to recover that. And by the way, Hoge, you did a great job explaining the onside kick. That was excellent.
Thanks.
That was, come on, his ego.
It was excellent. It was very, very good. But that's kind of luck, right? I mean, that's schemed up that he was open to be the guy. Like, he's put there in a position to make that recovery, but he was kind of schemed up for that. But to down that kick and know where you're at, and he's probably like, man, my butt's probably on the end zone line. I can't touch the ball, and you see him go for it, and his brain's thinking that way. That's the hardest play, because he's beat the double team or the single and getting down there and doing that. So he's an excellent special teams player. He's as good as anybody since Corey Graham. Yeah.
It was interesting here. The Johns had this post game after talking to Cairo, just the amount of reps they get on the onside kicks, to the point that apparently they had actually practiced that scenario where Cairo had to line the ball up in a way he didn't actually really want to because of the wind. which was probably the one thing I should have mentioned in that video I did was, I did mention usually on that second bounce, you prefer like a higher hop, but when you're going to do it, when you're going to lay it down like the helicopter style, you're not getting that high bounce. It's just really not possible. So I don't know that just, I think that was really impressive to hear just in terms of the preparation. I'm almost surprised that they even get that many reps at this point in the season to be that prepared for that type of situation. But I guess that's another credit to the coaching, which is the theme.
100%. And I've been hard on Hightower. Like because I sit there and watch it. That's my thing, as special teams. So there's times I get, you want him to be perfect, and he hasn't been, but he's gotten better. But that's a lot of credit to him to have his guys do that. And then also I wonder how many more kickers are now going to adapt that style, because I don't think Dobbs could read the bounce, right? Everybody said you got to go attack it. Well, that's not coming that traditional end over end, right? It's kind of doing more a different hop that he's trying to read it and he can't. And he's like, all right, I'm just going to wait for it to have that big hop. Where when you do see it go end over end, you can kind of anticipate that, that short hop that's going to bounce high. But he went back and took his eyes off of it. So it'll be interesting to see if other kickers adopt that style.
I think that's a great point. I know like Packer fans right now are killing him for how he played that. But like, I really do think that that's a huge reason why he was confused on the hop, because he's been getting reps at that all season. That's why you put those hands guys
and
in
he's probably been doing that since high school or middle school, right? He's seen that little end over end kick and he's waiting for it, and he went backwards. And I guarantee you he knows to go forward, right? That was your coaching point. Julian Edelman talked about it. You go forward and you grab the short hop, but he's probably looking at the spin. He's like, what the heck is this thing going to do? And he got lucky.
Adam, do I have your permission to shift
Yes, you can.
Conversation here?
Well, I don't know if you have, I don't need Pat's permission, but you can. Yes, you have mine.
Pat, you played with like a lot of different quarterbacks. What Caleb Williams is doing in the clutch, like the games don't look great, but then here he is in the fourth quarter, 2 minutes to go, making some unbelievable plays. Like, what do you make of it, and how much do you start to believe in it if you're in that locker room?
No, you believe in it, but I think it started when he was younger, right? He's had this pressure on him forever. He's been expected to be great forever. So he's dealt with these situations, this pressure, and I think the more you're in it and the more you're used to it, the more you're calmed down, and that's what we see. And then now he has the belief, and he's done it before in college. I mean, he's a Heisman Trophy winner, all that kind of stuff, but he has had this pressure on him every day of his life, probably since high school, that he's been told you're this great, you're going to do this. So he just knows how to deal with it. And then I'm sure guys see it in practice. I'm sure in 2-minute drills that we don't get to see, you guys don't get to see, that he completes these balls, makes these unbelievable throws that guys are like, he's going to come through with it. And then they see that calm demeanor. They probably talk about it. The O-linemen probably talk about it, that you should just see him in the huddle. He's ready to do this. So it's amazing to see, because even I think us do it as well, that when we watch these games, we have belief and we're not on the sideline. You guys are at the games, you still have belief. Us as fans have belief. But it is amazing, and we're lucky to have it. It's about damn time we have it, and it's really fun to watch.
There's another good trend going on with him the last couple of weeks, because I've been tracking his accuracy, and I only have him down for 3 actual inaccurate passes over the last 2 games. Now, there's some other ones that I would mark as like catchable, so they're not perfect, but still. But I mean like legit misses. There were 2 I thought on Saturday, and then there was 1 in the Browns game. But up until that, like, we had talked for probably over the course of a month about like that accuracy being an issue. So I don't know what it is, if he's just settling down, getting more confident, working on the footwork, whatever. But to me, if he can continue this trend of just playing more accurate, like, it's weird. I don't know that you can put a ceiling on this team all of a sudden if Caleb's going to keep.
And or him. Because I think we went into this year, right, we were not expecting playoffs. We weren't expecting 11 wins by this time. I think the biggest evaluation we wanted was Caleb Williams. Is he going to be a franchise quarterback? Is he going to be able to process information? How is he going to be as a pro? And we're seeing all that growth. And one of the questions you just brought up was accuracy, because last year there were times you would see it, he was not accurate. Earlier in the beginning of the year, he was not. That growth has come. The other thing, too, he has command of this offense pre-snap. You know what I mean? He now has motions, and Ben Johnson talked about that. That was one. It's like, can he do that? Can he process that much information pre-snap and then go out there and play? Now I want to see him process information post-snap a little bit better. kind of like Jordan Love did 3 weeks ago against the Bears. But I think that's coming, and I think we're going to see that. So I think if you're evaluating Caleb without these wins, which is amazing and great, which is the number one stat for quarterbacks, I would be very happy with what I've seen.
Pat, last question for you from me. Obviously, a memorable Saturday night in Chicago, an unbelievable win against the Packers. As the Bears start to reset, what do you think Ben Johnson is saying? What do you think the team leaders should do? Because obviously they still have more to play for, NFC North, first seed, and whatnot.
I think reality set in. You set the goals high, and Ben Johnson did that a little bit. He talked about the goals you have to get going forward, but now you start talking it. You start putting that belief in the locker room. Hey, man, Super Bowl. Drip it a little bit. Super Bowl. Let's get to the Super Bowl. Let's win the Super Bowl. You start dripping that in there because you have a chance to get a high seed, but now you're in. So now you have a chance, but you have to do that. You have to start dripping that belief. We did it in 2006, and it's weird. It happened early in training camp that we felt after 2005 we improved that much that we were going to be that good, and we started talking about it. But once you start talking about it, you manifest it. And they've manifested with these wins and belief. So start believing you can win the Super Bowl. So I would start dripping it in there. I would tell the guys, hey, we're not going to talk about it publicly, but listen, this is our goal. Let's go win a Super Bowl. And that's when you start doing it now.
I don't know how much you've been able to be up here in the city, but I mean, you're starting to feel it.
Oh, it's amazing.
Here.
Oh, I'm there. It's amazing, man. It's so much fun. All the gear. Oh, I got a quick story. I'm walking down Michigan Avenue. It's the day after the game. A guy's wearing a Packers jersey. Fun Bears fan pulls up right next to him and just starts berating him. And the Packers fans say, I'm not here for this, right? And it was fun banter. It wasn't like, mean, but it was great. And everybody's walking, shopping for Christmas gifts, and everybody's just laughing at the guy. And I'm like, God, this city is amazing when we win, man. It was fun. It's so much fun.
Yeah. I also want to give you an opportunity as we let you go here to react to the Pro Bowlers. They were just announced here as we're recording, but Kevin Byard, Drew Dalman, and Joe Thuney were voted into the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, that's awesome. Byard, I thought you knew for sure, right? Just the season he had. Joe Thuney, he's one of those, I think, lineman you just kind of grandfather in every year. But happy for Dalman. And then also happy for Ryan Poles. Those are two of his signings, right? I mean, you're trading the signings. So that's I mean, for the O-line, that's huge. That's big. Olin always talks about on the pre and post game show, he's built a 7-on-7 team. Well, now he's built a 9-on-7 team. Now he has a complete team. So credit to Ryan Poles, and obviously credit to those guys. They deserve it. That's great. That's nice to have 3 Chicago Bears helmets, representing the Pro Bowl or whatever they call it, whatever they do down there now.
Yeah. It's going to be Super Bowl week now in the convention center, the Pro Bowl games that they do.
Yeah.
But
extra cash in their pocket. Good for them.
Yeah, exactly. Patrick Mannelly, always great talking with you. Thanks for making time with us, and Merry Christmas.
Same to you guys. Have a great week.
Thanks, Pat.
Well, John Jay, I guess we got to react to these Pro Bowlers. Definitely well-deserved for the 3 guys that got in, but I think there's some conversations about some of the guys that didn't get in too. So we will do that on the other side of the break. Awesome talking to Patrick Mannelly. We'll do some Pro Bowl conversation next. But first,
Adam, one touchdown can change everything. The crowd, the momentum, the game itself. We know that well. It never gets old. Feel the same rush with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Missouri listeners, listen up. DraftKings Sportsbook is now live in the Show Me State. Here's the best part. New customers bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code Hoge and Jahns. That's code Hoge and Jahns. Bet $5, get $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY at 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, pass-through of per-wager tax may apply in Illinois. 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. For additional terms or responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. Limited time offer.
And you may have noticed that the athletes who stay at the top of their game the longest are usually the ones who take their downtime as seriously as their training. It's not just about the hours you put in at the gym or on the field. It's about how you rebuild afterward. And so if you're looking to reset your own mental and physical baseline, you need to check out Sand Valley, a 12,000-acre resort located in central Wisconsin, for their Elemental Wellness Retreat this January 16th through the 19th in 2026. The weekend is designed around a specific rhythm, challenging your body through the elements, then leaning into the restorative silence of the dunes to fully reset. And again, if you want to reset your mental and physical baseline for peak readiness and long-term vitality, or even just resetting for your work life, maybe, check out Sand Valley. It's going on January 16th through the 19th. Space is limited. To keep sessions intentional, visit sandvalley.com to view the full itinerary and book. All right, Johnsy.
It's not too far from Chicago, I believe.
No, it's not. It's a very popular golf destination. Hard to get into, honestly. So check it out. All right. Also, apparently hard to get into the Pro Bowl. Looking at some of these names that did not get in. First of all, congrats to Kevin Byard. Drew Dalman, who, of course, was not actually jinxed by Johns, but is a very good player and deserves his Pro Bowl nod for the first time in his career. What a signing that's been. We keep coming back to, Johnsy, the idea that this year has been the year of doing obvious things, like hiring the best head coach. I think Drew Dalman just going ahead and signing the best center that was available on the market made a lot of sense. We didn't necessarily know Joe Thuney was available through trade, but as soon as you find out like the best guard in football is available, go ahead and trade for him too. These are things that make sense. And it's funny how when you do things that make sense, you start winning football games.
A lot of football games. So, like Pat said, Ryan Poles does deserve some credit for this. Let's be real. Like he does. Kevin Byard was the big free agent signing last year. Do you want to talk about who didn't get in?
Yes. So the first name that probably comes to mind is Darnell Wright. Now that one's actually weirdly not terribly surprising because of the names ahead of him, right? Tristan Wirfs, I know, got in, Penei Sewell, and Trent Williams, who's going to be a Hall of Famer. So sometimes there is kind of I think Pat Mannelly said earlier, you get sort of grandfathered in. That's probably sort of what's happening to Joe Thuney too, but Joe obviously deserves it. So do all those other guys, right? They got in ahead of Darnell Wright. Nahshon Wright, leading the league in takeaways, was number one in the fan voting, I believe, at cornerback as well. How does he not get in?
Yeah. So the cornerbacks that received, well, your Pro Bowl cornerbacks in NFC, J.C. Horn, Carolina Panthers, Devon Witherspoon, Seattle Seahawks. I'd have to look at their numbers specifically.
Excuse me, that's it?
That's it, 2 cornerbacks.
Every team plays with 3.
That's a good point. Well, so there's 3 safeties. Free safeties are Kevin Byard, Bears, Antoine Winfield Jr., Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the strong safety is Budda Baker, Arizona Cardinals. So talking about being grandfathered in, I think Budda Baker, great player, but Cardinals, bad team.
The Cardinals are bad enough and disappointing enough that they should have just been like banned from having a Pro Bowler this year. I'm kidding, obviously. If you're a good player, you deserve it. But that seems really weird to me that you would have 2 corners, not 3, and leave out the guy who leads the league in takeaways. Okay. It's interesting. Also, Josh Blackwell.
Josh Blackwell deserves to be a Pro Bowler. Josh Blackwell blocked a field goal in Las Vegas for a Bears win. Josh Blackwell just recovered an onside kick against the Green Bay Packers that helped propel them to that miraculous win on Saturday Night Football. I don't know what else he could do.
I mean, he's got 2 wins.
Yeah.
That's a special teamer. I don't know what you're...
He returns kicks. He downs punts inside the 1. Ben Johnson said it himself. He's one of the best special teams players in the entire league. Luke Gifford is your special teamer from the San Francisco 49ers. Luke Gifford is a linebacker.
backup linebacker for the 49ers. So I guess we got a revenge situation brewing Sunday night. Blackwell goes out there and just dominates on special teams. Maybe wins another game.
Blocks a field goal against a unit that has two special teamers. They're the 49ers long snapper. John Weeks is also a Pro Bowler.
All right. Yeah, that one, that seems like a snub. You know, a lot of times the all-pro teams kind of make up for some of this stuff. Like, I would find it hard to believe that the leader in takeaways wouldn't, I don't know. We'll see.
Earn some recognition.
My point is, like, Pro Bowl's a cool honor. It's basically just become that now because the game isn't really a thing. Now these guys there are Pro Bowl games and they're happening in San Francisco the week of the Super Bowl now. So that'd be kind of cool to see these guys there. For whatever they do. I think it's like a flag football game now. Skills competition.
I don't even think it's that serious.
Yeah, I don't know.
But we know this is an honor that players believe in. Like they get behind this. You see them share it all the time on social media. So
yeah, vote for me. You know, the teams have been pushing it hard.
Nashawn Wright has 5 interceptions this season. One was a pick 6. One was in the end zone against on the road against the Vikings. He has 2 forced fumbles, including one that everybody should remember on a freaking tush push in Philadelphia. Oh, and the other one was Saturday night against the Green Bay Packers.
He's just wild.
He's got 3 fumble recoveries. So let's go through that again. 5 interceptions, including a pick 6. 2 forced fumbles, including one on a tush push in Philadelphia, and 3 fumble recoveries. Those are Pro Bowl numbers. And he was snubbed.
Meanwhile, I'm looking at the AFC roster. They have 4 cornerbacks and 3 safeties.
Weird.
I don't know.
That they're going to play a different style defense opposed to the NFC.
Yeah, okay. Well, again, I don't even.
They're not even going to play defense. They're going to play dodgeball. But again, it's
right. I was going to say, like,
it's the honor that matters.
Yeah. Where did you? I still can't find the full NFC roster. Like, you go to NFL.com, it's only the AFC roster.
I have it from ESPN.
Oh, here we go. We finally got an email from the NFL. That's helpful. All right, let's go. Just something. I just need to like triple check this. Something doesn't seem right about. So actually, okay. This makes it even worse. There's actually 4 corners on the NFC. So J.C. Horn and Devon Witherspoon are the starters. Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell from the Eagles both got it.
Okay. Where's that listed?
Just in the email the NFL sent out, like the NFL
so
release.
ESPN does not have that listed.
So they got them listed as first-time Pro Bowl selection. Yeah. That's even worse though. How do 2 Eagles corners get in over Nashawn Wright? I mean, J.C. Horn's having a great year. Devon Witherspoon plays for the Seahawks. So, like, I kind of get that, but I haven't. I'm sure every team has, like, somebody they're like, this guy should have gotten in. This is a snub. But Nashawn Wright has to be at the top of the list of all snubs, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's insane. Okay. I guess we'll take a break. We'll come back with numbers to think about and wrap up this show as we live react to the Pro Bowl snubs. But first, Hey, if you want to feel organized and confident in your finances, check out Monarch, an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your financial life, your entire financial life, together in one clean interface on your laptop or your phone. I use Monarch. It's awesome. Once you get everything inputted, for the most part, it takes care of itself, keeps everything organized and categorized so you know on a monthly basis what you're spending, what's in budget, when you're going over budget, and exactly what you're spending your money on. Right now, just for our listeners, Monarch is offering 50% off your first year with code CHGO at monarch.com. This app is awesome. It was named the best budgeting app of 2025 by the Wall Street Journal. Forbes named it the best app for couples. Check it out. Do not let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use code CHGO at monarch.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarch.com with code CHGO.
And if you're thinking about starting your own business, you should know about Shopify. Shopify is the e-commerce platform behind millions of businesses around the world and 10% of all key e-commerce in the U.S. Shopify even powers the CHGO merch store. You got anything behind you? I think he's got the
Oh, yeah.
There it is. The Hoge Jahns hat.
Right there. I think I have the other one, too.
Yeah.
Both of these you can
There
find
it
in
is,
our merch
yeah.
store, powered by Shopify.
Oh, yeah. And all our great hoodies and more. Shopify has got you covered with website creation, product descriptions, email, and social media marketing. They also have AI tools designed to help you maximize sales. If you're ready to sell, you're ready for Shopify. Turn your big business idea into with Shopify on your side. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/allcity. That's shopify.com/allcity.
All right. Well, speaking of merch, I'm wearing the JD hoodie today because the annual Jeff Dickerson Good Guy Award will be awarded at House Hall today.
Can we reveal?
I don't think so because I'm pretty sure this is going to come out before that. Okay. So,
and Pat would be very mad at us.
Yeah, we don't want Pat mad at us.
No, but I know the player it's a great selection.
Right.
Okay.
Where's our friend Patrick Finley?
It is time for numbers to think about. Numbers to think about are brought to you by Upside. Download the free Upside app and use promo code Hoge Jahns to get an extra 25 cents back for every gallon on your first tank of gas.
Point is, those are some numbers.
All right, what do we got, Katie?
All right, first one. The Bears offense has recorded a 48.7% success rate on design runs in the second half of games this season, the second highest rate in the NFL, trailing only the Rams.
This is a Ben Johnson number, and this goes back to, part of our conversation with Pat Mannelly. The Bears have a head coach who installs the run game. I love that. Like, I don't know why I love that so much, but how often you get these play callers that come in and they have this obsession with the passing game? No, Ben Johnson wants to run the ball all over defenses. I love it.
But even more importantly, like what Pat said, he understands the run game. If you missed the interview yesterday, please check it out. It was awesome having Lance Briggs on with Cole Kmet, and kind of getting some of those player-to-player questions and answers, because the way he was explaining Ben's understanding of blocking angles, and I can't, and it still happens. It still happens probably even more than a couple times a game where someone's being asked to block at an angle that isn't ideal, that makes it really hard. But I think that's the perfect example of when Pat Manley was like, I don't know how many play callers actually understand the running game. But that's what he's talking about. Like how you might ask him to make this block, but if you don't really understand the angles, it's not going to work. And so for Ben to be the one installing it, that means he understands all that stuff. He has to. He's designing it. And yeah, hope the good has it. It's still remarkable. I can't get over the fact that they were like almost dead last in rushing the first 4 weeks of the season.
And now they're one of the best.
It's crazy. It's great. All right, what's next?
Montez Sweat leads the Bears with 41 pressures this season, including 4 turnovers that led to a strip sack, fumble, or an interception, tied with 7 other defenders for the most in NFL.
What's that bottom part? Sweat has recorded each of his pressures in 3.42 seconds after the snap, the third longest mark among edge defenders. As a team, the Bears are recording an average time to pressure 2.9 seconds, longest in the NFL.
Well, those are interesting numbers at the bottom.
Yeah. So I think that checks out. That's actually, Katie, that's a great one because I don't know if you had the same reaction, but Ben had a pretty eloquent little monologue on Montez yesterday and was praising him. And he's not wrong that, since the bye week, the numbers are there. Pressures are obviously there. We've seen that in that stat, but I don't know, my eye test is just still like he's not dominant though. And I think that bottom part of what we just put up on the screen, that second note kind of still shows they're not getting there fast enough.
3.42 seconds after the snap on average. That's the third longest mark among edge defenders. That's to his pressure. Like Montez Sweat is the Bears' best defensive lineman. There's no really debating it, is there? Like he is their best defender, best edge defender. He produces the most. The numbers illustrate that. He's going to be on this roster next year. Ben Johnson likes the energy he brings behind the scenes, but at the same time, I know, everybody knows that upgrades in some capacity, like they're going to invest money in that defensive line, just like they invested resources on the Bears' offensive line this past offseason. Same thing's going to happen to the Bears' defensive line next year.
Me translating that number right there is if the secondary wasn't playing as well as they are, Montez would not have those pressures. Is that fair? I'm trying to juggle. So if he's 3.42 seconds to get there, but he does have all those pressures, that means they're covering on the back end.
3.42 seconds is a long time.
Right. And the team average is actually better than that. That was a super, I think my brain just exploded trying to process that one.
You had a good game the other day against Packers, I thought. Like, what did you make of Austin Booker's performance? I thought he was flying around. Yeah. I loved I like how both coaches have handled the shot on Jordan Love. I watched even Matt LaFleur talk about it yesterday. Ben, I thought, gave a good answer to Joniak in his interview yesterday, where he was like, don't get me wrong, it's a penalty. It's helmet-to-helmet contact. And he said it in his press conference too. He's like, but that's of the 4 15-yard penalties, he had a problem with the other 3. He didn't necessarily have a problem with that one. Like, that's a football play. Yeah. And
Matt LaFleur was like, seemed like he's frustrated his quarterback got hurt, but it's like, Zach wasn't going to call it a dirty hit or anything.
No.
In fact, I don't know if you saw this. You probably didn't, but someone asked him, what do you think of the hit on Jordan Love? And Matt LaFleur was like, well, I don't know. What did you think about it? And I don't know which reporter it was.
Well, like if you just want to compare and contrast, like the hit that we saw into the back of DJ Moore compared to the head-on collision of Austin Booker and Jordan Love, like one looked intentionally dirty, the other one looked like a football play.
Yeah. I don't know if we'll ever know what Keyshawn Nixon was doing there, but I don't think he was running across the field thinking, I'm going to take DJ Moore out. I think it was more of a split second, like kind of getting caught in the crosshairs and being more like, I'm not going to get out of the way. Does that make sense?
It wasn't like a light tap.
No, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think he started that rep being like, I'm going to come across the field and just take this dude out right now.
DJ Moore is a tough football player. Yeah. Like, he is tough to tackle. That hurt him.
Yeah.
Like, he felt that throughout the entirety of the game after that.
The video where you could actually hear him on the ground after catching the touchdown, it sounds like he says, my back. because they're like, "Are you all right?" And he's like, he's clearly dealing with that the whole game. So, do we have one more, or was that it?
Yeah, last one.
Okay.
And if you're watching on YouTube, there's a nice little graphic for you. Caleb Williams was blitzed on 42.9% of his dropbacks through the first 3 quarters, but just 21.7% in the fourth quarter and overtime of Week 16 against the Packers. Although he faced pressure nearly twice as often against the blitz, 54.5%, as against 4 or fewer rushers, 26.9%, he averaged more than twice as many yards per pass attempt when blitzed than any other throws. He completed 5 of 10 attempts for 135 yards and 2 touchdowns against the blitz on the night, including the game-winning 46-yard touchdown to DJ Moore in overtime when the Packers rushed 6 defenders.
So the blitz wasn't working.
I'm surprised. I'm still surprised they did it on back-to-back plays at the end. Obviously, Ben Johnson wasn't.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, Caleb wasn't. They had the cover 0 answer in there.
Yeah. Jade Walker's touchdown came on a 0 blitz, too.
What a story, man. I don't know how many of these like training camp darlings we've covered that, you know, it's fun in August and then you never really hear from them again. But to hear, and even to hear Ben Johnson talk about Jade Walker,
Yeah.
like they think they view him as a piece going forward. I don't know how much more opportunity he'll get this year, but you know, there's no guarantee Olamide Zaccheaus is on this team next season.
No. And I'm guessing he's going to get at least one more game, depending on Burden and Adunze status.
Right.
I wouldn't be surprised if Burden returns this week, but Adunze takes one more or 2.
Right. Yeah. All right. Fun show.
All right.
Good stuff. Pat
Those are your
Mannelly.
numbers. Hold on. Those are your numbers to think about.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Download the free Upside app and use promo code Hoge Jahns to get an extra 25 cents back for every gallon and your first tank of gas. Upside.
Point is, those are some numbers.
All right. Yeah, Pat was great. Good week to have him on, and fun to react to the Pro Bowl announcement, which it's good the Bears have 3 Pro Bowlers, but and it's also
3 bowlers,
good
2 snubs.
yeah, means it's been a good year, and more guys will probably get in. Although there's not as many injury replacements because they don't really do anything. Like it used to be like, I can't play, or I don't want to play, or I don't want to fly to Hawaii, which that would never, I mean, I will never turn down a free trip to Hawaii. That one never made sense to me, but now it's just like,
I'll come for the 2 free nights and some food.
Yeah.
I'm a sports writer, though.
there you go.
you hand me a food.
All right, we will be back on Friday to preview this game against the 49ers. Hope everybody has a great Christmas, great week. Spend time with family, and maybe don't think about the Bears, or maybe do. Maybe just
definitely talk about the Bears.
Yeah, maybe just spend the whole Christmas dinner just talking about football. I mean, that would be fine.
I believe there's football on the television on Thursday.
There's some games that are being played. Yeah, I don't know. I was actually laughing because and I know we got to wrap here, but the Chiefs are starting that Olu at quarterback.
Yeah, that's their quarterback. My son brought that up to me. I'm like, I've never. I respect my football knowledge.
Be careful here.
What?
There's one team that should know this guy.
Is it the Bears?
This guy plays against the Bears every year in August. He played the whole game 2 years ago in the preseason.
No, he did not. You lied.
Yes, I swear. I actually thought it was this year too. I looked this up last night because I'm a crazy person. Mahomes played this year a lot of that game.
Okay, thank you.
So he only got like 3 snaps, but I bet you if I go to 2024 preseason, Bears Chiefs. Oladokun, I still don't really know his name. 9 of 16, 66 yards.
That didn't happen.
2 interceptions.
Oof.
Yeah.
Okay,
I mean,
we should go.
The Bears are the one team that know this guy. Well,
Not the reporters who apparently covered this team.
Congrats to the Broncos for their win in advance on Christmas. What a lineup we got on Christmas Day. All right, we will be, we'll talk to you on Friday. Bears, 49ers. It's going to be a big one. It's going to be a hard one. This is a hard game. So we'll have a lot to break down. But in the meantime, have a great Christmas. We'll talk to you on the 26th.